buddy.
Look at there. I'm scared already. What do I do?
Right?
And,
We had to get festive for tonight.
this is festive, folks. If you could see what I see, it's like, oh, there's our sweetheart Robin Kill.
Hi,
Hey
Robin.
Robin, hey Robin, our sweet lady. I'm hoping she's going to be at the Paracon this weekend.
Thanks, Robin. I thought so too. I thought it was spooky. I had
It
to add a
is.
little Halloweeny, like my booze shirt and the bats. I had to add a little Halloweeny. So
I'm representing Deadlight with our boy
I
Josh
see that.
Minger. Deadlight,
Oh
we're
my
rocking
gosh.
it.
I have to
Oh
bring that
man.
along with me this week. My invention from
Ooh.
Deadlight.
Oh man, this I know. So Robin says she is trying to.
Good.
I hope you do. It'll be fun. Just yeah. Yeah, Kelly's got her cool stuff on.
A little
Kelly's
festive tonight.
I know. She's in the season. She's the reason. She is the reason for the season.
Mhm.
April, if it's flowers or if it's, you know, it, it's just whatever it is to make things fun. And she keeps me laughing at times, and I'm like, otherwise I'd be like, oh,
Well, that's mutual. You keep me laughing too. Like
oh,
today. Today was like like a day that if I
oh.
could have just like scrapped today and start all over again tomorrow,
I
that's what I should have done. Like getting up this morning, I thought to myself, there's just something about today I could have just like went back to bed, and I should try again tomorrow. And then when I was up, it was all confirmed. That's exactly what I should have done. I should have exactly gone right back to bed and just slept through today and tried again tomorrow. So,
Lori
hi, Lori.
Woodard
Hi,
says
Lori.
hi, Kelly. Have I met you, Lori?
No, you haven't met Lori yet. She's so
Lori,
sweet.
do I get to meet you at the Paracon?
I don't know. Are you going to Connecticut this
Lori,
weekend, Lori? I don't know.
Lori, I hope you do. Hi, I'm Keith. I want to
She's
meet
another
you.
fellow Pennsylvanian.
Hello, Lori. And
Mhm.
let's hope Robin comes. She's a doll. And boy, she got some stuff going on with the old Robin Airlines.
Yeah.
My goodness, that's a whew.
Yeah.
She has got the stuff going on there. My goodness. I have to I tell people because it was one of the most haunted. I said, well, do you want a place I've been or a place I haven't been, but I think is like amazingly active? And they're like, well, wow. And then we get to talking and they're like, no kidding. I'm like, I'm talking about recorded voices, recorded phenomenon, like it's there. Like you can't. You get a lot of people that say, "Oh, gee whiz, I saw." Oh, did you get it on? Did you get a picture? Any? Well, I was. That's not the case with her. It's like
Mm.
wow, it's cool stuff. But folks, today saw a very sad day. Um, Actor and comedian and just sweetheart of a person, Leslie Jordan, um, apparently passed today in Los Angeles. There's still it's still new and fresh, but I think one of the things that meant with me with Leslie is he wasn't a giant of a man like myself. I mean, like 6'5" and looked like a refrigerator. Leslie was a small stature man, but everybody said he had a heart as big as he was. And he was just a sweetheart of a person. And I tell you, I take from that, and here's one of the things where I'm going with this. I I wish just in a beautiful world that more people could be like Leslie. Like,
Mhm.
look at what we lost. We lost a good one. Like, we're not talking some bad. We lost a beautiful soul that
Mhm.
I think would be, if we were more like him, so many, it would be like, wow, it's a great world. I have to tell you, and I'll be the first, to say it, raise my hand. It's me. I worked very hard at being a better person. I totally know and understand that there's things that I wish I could go back. Whoop, 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 whoop. And there's my little word. Go back in time and do things better than what they did then. But you know, I look at it now that I just try. I just say
Mhm.
like, wow, I try.
Mhm.
So um, I'll say this from here real quick, and then we'll get on to some other fun stuff. You know, if you're one of the ones out there, if you're listening or watching or know somebody that is, and you know, if I've been said something to you or at one time done something, or you know, I'm a bigger person. You know, I apologize for being unkind and not being the nice person that's in me. Um, you know, sadly, I've had a lot of things over the last several years that have happened with the loss of three of my five family members, and I dealt with a lot of horrible, horrible sadness.
Mhm.
Dad, my twin brother, and my mom, and so a lot of anger and a lot of sadness, and just why, and it was at a time when other things were occurring, and I just it's not an excuse. What it is for me is this, that I need to work on being better. And there's some people out there that, you know, seem to have kind of maybe distanced themselves from me. If you're one of the ones who have, you know, I apologize to you. Maybe there's some way of recourse to be able to, you know, talk it out. And I'll be the first to say if I was wrong, hey, I should have done things differently.
Well, and I think
But
that goes too that everybody grieves, in their own way.
right. And
So it's just kind of to be understanding of those who are going through that process. And not just from passings, I mean, right now, aside from Leslie's passing, there's lots of people dealing in this field with personal
right,
issues and health issues and different things. So we just have to kind of be understanding of one another. And even if
right.
there's a lapse in communication or, just send good thoughts to that person, um, that sort of thing. But I think we just have to have that understanding of, just like it's okay. We just have to be
That's
understanding that everyone's going through their own thing. And oftentimes, I know I'm very private about what I post online. And, you just have to make sure that you're comfortable. And,
mm,
many people are dealing with things in private.
right.
So, we just kind of have to be understanding of that for
And
sure. But
that is something that, you know, that's, and Kelly makes it, I mean, drives it just home like a home run. Go Astros. We're going to the World Series.
oh,
Wow.
Phillies,
Oh
buddy.
man, geez. All right, we did it. But you know, it's that point of, you know, maybe we can reflect. Maybe we can say, wow, let me step back. You
Mhm.
know, this person's got a lot on their plate.
Yeah.
Uh
Or
and then
maybe we don't
go,
know,
we
maybe
don't
it's not even
know.
something you know about.
And there are
Mhm.
the posts. I've seen a lot of them, and they're, you know, be careful the person you're talking to. You know, with rumors, you don't know if it's you know, if you're talking against somebody that's the innocent, and it's actually the person that's
Mhm.
talking to you that's the problem. Um, you know, I'm guilty of reaching out to people and saying, "Hey, is it me? Is it how about you know?" And it's pretty quick and clear that when, you know, after you don't get responses back from people, that maybe you have done something. And I guess that's where I'm trying to say is that, you know, if I have, I'm saying it now. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I wish we could do better and reach out and talk and resolve things, because I I think that's been my issue for so long, and I've talked to Kelly about it, is that I was so kind and so just easygoing. And I let those things just open up. And there are the good ones who take that and respect it. And then there are the ones, sadly, that take advantage of it. And then what happens? I'm the one who kind of reaches out and say, hey, you know, this is not. And then others who go scanting along, and then I end up being the bad guy. So I've had to learn. Thank God, and I say it for having Kelly, because Kelly's been that person to say, now, Keith, you got to,
I do say that.
you've got to be
I do say
better.
that. I
You've
do
got
say
to,
now, Keith.
now, Keith. And I tell you, but you know what? Our show is going down the river and floating at happy speeds,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
some others, you look back and the boat's just sinking, and then it's sunk. So at the end of the day, I posted and I've said, out of, not all things that happen are bad. Sometimes you can take that and replace them in life, and then you
Mhm.
learn from it and you do better. And in this case, it's Kelly.
No.
Um, hey, I'm blessed because she took me at a
I just
time.
he just lets me bother him every day, everyone.
I
That's what
hey,
happens.
I
I can
well,
bother him anytime I want, and it's like a free
yeah,
pass.
it's
Mhm.
it's even more than really my sisters. I and my sister are like, okay, I'm busy, I gotta go. And Kelly's like, right, So that's what
We
I
had
love her for.
breakfast together this morning when you called. I was eating breakfast when you called.
Oh, well, we'll get to do that when we go up there and we're hanging out.
That's
And
right.
speaking
That's
of
right.
which,
And
folks,
Andrew Darling, there are cheesesteaks that have come out of Philly. My favorite thing about Philly is Eastern State Penitentiary. If I don't go to Eastern State Penitentiary, I will not be usually hardly ever in the Philly region because I HATE driving in Philadelphia.
yeah, well,
So
we were there, weren't we? And all with the traffic when we
yeah,
went.
that's
Yeah,
the only reason. That would be the only reason I'd go into Philadelphia. Mhm.
that is a really cool place. We didn't get to stay very long, but we did get to go in there, kind of scoot around, get a nice cool feel for it. And I do want to go back and like see if there's actually the chance to do some sort of action, an investigation. That would really be cool. Um,
Thanks, Robin. I'm glad you agree. Robin
oh,
agrees with me about Philly
she
traffic.
goes, I hate it too. Robin
Mhm.
will tell you too. Uh, if you saw Robin's video recently of one of her puppies, oh, her SLS camera that she adores, and sadly, one of her puppies decided to say playtime,
Oh,
wee mama, and she was like, okay, and she was all trusting and loving, and she came back, gosh, gosh, I can't, you,
so sad.
ah!
That's so sad.
She was not happy, and I'll tell you, uh,
Robin.
she was. I know Robin, and Robin's just gentle as can be. She had a look of. She was like, oh. But
Yeah.
I ended up. I think there were actually several people that said, "Look, tell me what you need, or what do we need to do, or let's recover. What's
Yeah.
lost on the components may be lost, and then what can be fixed or put together new, we'll try to
Mhm.
do that, and then the rest of that is just can be kind of fixed or replaced. But
Yeah.
I
And guess what
understand.
else? Guess what else?
Oh
Speaking of
no.
equipment, guess what
Oh
else? You can get equipment. Like people have equipment for sale this weekend. For all those people joining us in
yes, indeed.
Connecticut this weekend at the Warren Seekers of the Supernatural Paracon, there will be people there that will have equipment for sale, whether they made it or brought it from their online store, that sort of thing. So there was equipment that was for sale, and there will be this time. So if you're headed up and you need some pieces, you'll have to check that out.
And that's a good point, Kelly. When we were there last year, I was totally blown away by the onslaught of attendees that made it to the Paracon. It was like a rock concert in light of it indeed was like it. I told Kelly, I looked, I said, I've been to some Paracons and some of the biggest Paracons, and I said, I tell you what, whoo wee. It was raining outside. The place was already, it was doing buzzing, and there were people outside the door, wrapped around through the parking, just trying to make their way to get into the con and
Yeah.
do it. And Dan and the boys ended up doing a bigger venue this year, and that's going to be super cool, no doubt about it. I've never been to the Mohegan Sun. I've heard a lot. I mean, they have concerts there. One of my favorite bands, Judas Priest, was just there, so uh, so that was cool. So, but I do want to check out the place and just have the moment. There's going to be a lot of very very fun people there this weekend that just love the paranormal, contribute a lot to the paranormal. Which by the way, if you're in the paranormal and you're out there and you're helping people and doing investigations, whether you're on TV or whether you're your beautiful little home team helping some little family, you're contributing to the paranormal. Okay,
Mhm.
let's make that clear. There's been some questions as to that, and I want to touch on that briefly. Okay, uh, it Carrie one.
Corey, I
Okay,
can't wait to see
yeah,
you in
yay, fun
Connecticut.
people. Yeah, there we go. Hey, so just I wanted to put that out there, folks. Look, it, and I say this because Robin's in the house and some others. Andrew, look, you are someone. It's a beautiful thing. Probably if you're on TV, I get it. I got it. I'm there. But don't let it be something against you to have it be said that, well, you're not this or that. When you're going to a home to help a family with your heart and your soul and your time, and you're helping them not be scared, you're contributing in the paranormal, folks.
Mhm.
So just know that that's a beautiful
Oh,
thing.
Harry, we love you too. And that was going to be kind of a segue into what I was going to say. That's something we noticed last year, just the mix, the eclectic group of people. There were
Right,
independent people coming, there were
right.
teams coming, there were healers like Carrie, who does amazing healings.
Carrie,
And
I gotta
so
meet you. Oh,
she
Carrie.
does one of the most interesting forms of healing I've ever seen. So make
Well,
sure that you go to
I'll
her
get to
table,
see you, Carrie.
and you'll have to sign up. You'll have to sign up for a session with her. So make sure if you're going to the event that you
Miss
stop by her table first and get a
Carrie.
time, because she's amazing. Um,
I'm
and
excited. I'm excited.
just, I mean, it was just such a cool crowd, because you had that those
Mm,
teams, you had those independent people that went, and then you had holistic healers like Carrie, you had readers, you had equipment builders, and you also had that kind of fringe of horror culture from the movies. So you had people who are really interested in those sorts of things, and the relics that they're bringing from the museum. And really, truly, I think it was just such an eclectic group of people, and I think it'll be even better as far as the layout this time, with the space of people.
right.
Instead of the long lines, I know they made some changes to try to assist with that. So I think, all in all, with this bigger venue, I think it's just going to be stellar. And
I agree.
the types of people, I mean, we met lots of different people just stopping to talk, at our table,
Yeah.
and lots of new groups that we now keep in touch with, which I think is really neat.
That's
Because
true.
and anyone in the chat knows, these events are all about connections that you make with
And
people, or teams, or things
that's
like that. And that's the purpose. That's the true
that's
purpose.
a beautiful thing. Listen, don't feel shy, or me and Kelly are both love and light people and approachable. If
I'm a
you want to
lot
come up,
taller in person.
yeah, if you want to come up and
Like, he's
walk
like,
up,
yeah, no, no, no.
yeah, well, she's as tall as I am when I sit down.
I
So,
know. Yeah, when you sit down.
Kelly,
That's right.
she's a doll. So just know, come up to the table. Hey, let's talk, and the possibilities of having you on the show, once we talk to you, get to know you, what you bring into the paranormal, if you are out there doing we've had people so beautiful like Ryan Seymour on the show. Who else, Kelly, have we had that some are amazing? I think Robin's been on the show. Yes.
Mhm. Yep.
Bob's been on the show. Who
I
so
mean,
many,
just like the people that we've met over the
right?
last, year and a half plus of doing this show, and then going to these events. I just think it's amazing. And the connections that you make, even though you may not know how. I'm a firm believer, or why necessarily, but I'm a firm believer that there's always that reason. There's
Right.
always a reason that you've connected with those people that you have. And I mean, Carrie and I met over Starbucks coffee in the lobby. So, I mean, I
Carrie.
think
Let's
it's
have
just
coffee together,
meant to,
Carrie.
meant to be for us. But David, I am taller than many things.
Where's
You should
David
know.
at?
David and I, we did
Oh, a
we did
lot
a
taller
time
than
in Greece
what?
on
Oh,
Saturday, and when I was standing on the hillside, I was
David.
taller than many things. I I don't know what, but
Bandit. Bandit. Come here.
several things.
Bandit.
I
Bandit.
like the dinner table. or I don't know. I like to say that I'm taller. I can't stand the heights though. A 3 foot ladder, I just barely, Andrew. Like everyone can laugh it up. I'll stand. I think I have stood on a chair to hug you at one point, didn't I, buddy? I think I did. I think I did. At the
it,
bash one time, I think I stood on a chair and we were almost eye to eye. You were
is
still
that who was that? Andrew?
no, you. Yeah.
Oh, Kelly
But
is
I
taller
my
than most first
students,
graders. Oh
my
my God, Flip.
my
Flip,
students, once
really?
they got to third grade, then I was out. So I'll be open and honest about that. But I'll pack
Well,
some big shoes for this weekend. How about?
Flip goes, Kelly is taller than most first graders.
I expect nothing less from him in the comments.
Flip
So
Cyril's. Flip,
that's right.
folks, if you know Flip's a silent but violent guy. He'll sit there and he will just Jedi mind touch you. Just Jedi.
Yeah.
Just zap. And he'll look, but he'll have a look, and you just got buzzed by him, and
That's right.
he just did a flip joke on you.
That's
Get
right.
it? Get it? A flip joke, and you just got Jedi because, and he just laughed. And he knows it, but
Yeah.
Flip does the stuff for us that we're we're blessed to have him. He's one of the peeps for sure. So let's see some. I want to check out some comments for those that are in the chat or the other. I guess Kelly's got another feed as well. That if you went to the Paracon, the Warren's Paracon last year, tell me what it is you like most about it. What was it that you like? Oh my God, this happened and it was just so special. Did you meet someone? Did you get an autograph? I mean, did you get pictures with someone? Did you? I mean,
I
what?
got pictures with you.
Well, you do. That's right. And we had some. We had.
He just dismisses me. Do you hear this, everyone? I feel like you're just
No,
like,
no, 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 no.
yeah.
We
Yes, Kelly, I know. Got back to the point. I know. I get
we
it.
had some very fun. We had some very fun Eastern State pictures, that was a cool place. We were
No,
in
I
there.
mean, even at the Paracon last year, we got some
Yep.
together.
It was a fun time. There was lots of folks there. It to me, it was definitely a family setting of the folks with. And listen, one of the things I want to tell you about it is, so Dan Riviera um, is the and Tony, of course, Tony Spear, with the 28 Days Haunted guys. So I want you to know that when you go to the Paracon, that these are the guys that are behind the scenes of that whole venture with Aaron Siggers and of course our buddy Shane Pittman and Jeremy Leonard.
I didn't watch the show yet,
So
so I have to
several
watch an
folks,
or two.
some folks are going to be there. Some are not from it uh, due to scheduling or other things they may have planned. But I'm just saying there's going to be some very Jeremy's a fireman like me, so I mean we're buds because we have a lot of those brotherly things in common. I mean, firefighters are a bond. We're like brothers, even though we're just because we understand we do what we do in the business, and
Well, I'll tell you what, too, last year when we could, I know you and I were both at the table for the most part, but there were some times we could pop in on some of the speakers, and the speakers were amazing as well. And if you
right.
go on to the Warren's Seekers of Supernatural Facebook page, they're announcing, I just saw Carrie's picture up there actually in the vendor spotlight, but they're announcing not only the speakers, but kind of a little preview of the types of things that they'll be talking about. So this
Wow.
is pretty neat too, because that's another thing that I liked about this con was that the speakers varied as far as what they were speaking about. I know Keith and Carl Johnson are
Right.
talking. So you kind of have the demonology aspect. You have some people in the cryptid Bigfoot arena.
Right.
You have some people in the extraterrestrial kind of field. And I don't know if Fred's in the chat tonight. I didn't see his name yet, but I believe he's speaking again this year. I may be wrong on that, but I believe he may be.
Yeah, Fred
So
Richard. I'm not sure if he is or not, but he's another one we had on as a guest, and really had a blast.
so I mean, I think it's just a wide array of interests too.
Yeah, that speaker stuff, guys, is a chance for a little bit of paranormal education. And that time is going in, listening to them, the ones who have been in this a long time, and what they've experienced, be it the Bigfoot, again the cryptid, or some really deep seated paranormal, where they've been out and been to some things that just really they had some experiences that kind of shaped them. Those are those times where you can listen to those things. They may talk about the things that were successes out of it, that were like, wow, this is what our findings. And then they may say, look, we've had some stuff that I'm just going to tell you, just don't do. This happened, and I'll just share that. And that's those, going to Paracons does not have to be all about just shaking hands necessarily. It is about going into listening to those folks, and then, hey, reaching out to them. Say, hey, if I've got questions, do you mind? Because these are some of the ones that are in the field that are out there doing it. I mean, and so if you've got those questions, reach out to them. And most of them worth their salt, no doubt about it, will in fact say, sure, man. If they get the time and they get that, to kind of respond to you, as long as you're not on there at 7 a.m, say, hey, can you tell me what a poltergeist is? I mean, again, have that respect for them. But when there's time and you have that and they have said it, then sure, go ahead. And Robin did put the point most. Yeah, most do. And again, the most worth their salt will in fact be that kind person. And there are some really super kind-hearted people that genuinely will say, hey, the reason I am doing what I'm doing is because of you guys, the fans. If you don't watch our show, we don't have a program. I think that's one thing most people need to understand. They're on there because they get the ratings, right? No ratings, no show. You've never seen it in time unless you're just able to fund that whole program yourself and pay for this. And whether you got 2 viewers and you're paying, hey, then that's you. But otherwise, they're getting the ratings, the show's just off the hook, and then they're continuing. So most of them are like, hey, they love their fans. And so this is those pairs you do get to go. Just be respectful as anyone should be, and say, hi, I'm so and so, and I'm this, and come up and spend some time with them. I know I enjoy just if I get the chance to just ask some questions that I'm kind of on the fence about, and it is enlightening to get folks to give their perspective, and then you're like, wow, I think we have some of the very same interests. So it's a fun
Another thing I noticed about the Facebook page, I was just cruising the event Facebook page, and I saw Mike Ricksecker, who's been on our show. He's going to be there speaking. Of course, James Anito is kind of being a monitor for one of the
demonology
discussions. Yeah, and moderating another panel as well. But another thing that they have on Facebook, Anthony and Dina Holmes are going to be there as well. So
our buds, our sweethearts.
So I can't wait to see them. But another thing they have on their Facebook page, if you go to the event page itself, they have highlighted some of the relics that they're going to bring from the museum, and they've kind of given you like a little snippet of the backstory of each one. So they've been releasing those little bits at a time, so like what kinds of relics they're bringing, and then explaining a little bit about how they got them. And I think that's pretty interesting, especially if you're someone who really ties into the like horror versions of some of their stories and film adaptations. So if you think that's interesting about facts with the relics and things like that, go on to their Facebook page and check it out. And also, there's a VIP party the night before.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah, well, I mean,
rock and roll. VIP parties traditionally across everywhere I've ever been, from the west to the east.
That's right.
Down to south in San Antonio, all the way up to north to like on the Canadian border, like the Michigan, VIP parties rock. I mean, you get a chance when you're in there with the peeps and you're breaking bread or maybe having a refreshing, uh, uh,
Little beverage.
refreshing,
Mm-hmm.
correct,
Yeah.
and spending time and just getting to, kind of, talk some business. But it's fun because again, it is indeed those connections.
Yeah.
The handshake you do today could be the colleague you have tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this for many years, and I continue to say it. The person you're nice to today could be that phone call you get in the future.
Yeah.
And that it's imperative that when you're out there, you hold yourself as that. You continue to be the person that you want others to see, and then you're out there doing what you do. And so that's why for me the Paracons is special. Getting to make those reconnect with those people I haven't seen in some time. Just get to be there and say, how's the family? How you been doing? And
Yeah.
hey, great job on the 28 days. And you just go
Mhm.
from there. And so everybody's got some projects. You see a lot of the buzz out there. Hey, something's in the works. Really can't really talk about it. I'm excited. Look, folks, that's somebody else's chance at the really big show. And
Mhm.
I like to say, hey, congrats. Hey, go do it. Life is short lived. The fun and the excitement and maybe even the four-letter word, the fame you have today is a memory in the future. But you go out there and if you get a year, hey, cool. If you get two, amazing.
Mhm.
But go out there and have it, enjoy it, do it. And hopefully the only thing my prayer is that others will also eventually get to have those opportunities. Fresh faces are always good for the biz. You know, uh, I mean, just think about it. When you tend to see a repetitive, like a cycle of the kind of the same, you tend to think, well, there are other people like a baseball team that's on the bench that can still get up to the plate and hit the home run. So, put me on, coach. I'm ready to play. So pat that person on the back, shake their hand, man, congrats, good. Because again, I say it, that's that person that in the future that's going to say, hey, we're
Well,
looking to expand this. We want to do this, or and you go, hey,
right.
man, thanks.
Well, that and right now too, and again going back to this event this weekend, there are many people that are there representing all types of platforms. So now, the different not only social media, but media in general or multimedia itself, like there's so many different ways that you can see these people and you can see what they're up to and you can, view their projects and support them. And if you're creating projects, there's so many different platforms you can use. So I just think it's awesome because at this event, namely, you do encounter people who have media everywhere and who just truly, are so apt to want to share and collaborate. So I think it's really neat. And for those people going, it's a lot of fun too. Everybody gets to hang out and spend time together, which is nice too. So
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
what I talked to somebody that's going this morning that's going to be there and is a friend of mine, and I was like, well, good man, it's going to be good to talk and hopefully maybe break some bread. And
Yeah.
but that's again, it's the folks that are there that are having these things come up is it's so much more kind to say, hey man, that's good stuff, man. I'm and and in that light, you tend to set and a better seat with this person in life with that you're a supporter rather than is not because hey, wouldn't you want that support? I mean, I always think this is a mutual thing. Just like some of you folks on here have went out there and hey us, hey, we're blessed. We thankful for those kind things you do. And there are times where
Hmm.
I get a lot of things. I try to get out there and pop on a show. Hey guys, even if it's for a few minutes to say, hey, good stuff. I'm liking what you're doing. It doesn't take that long to do that. I try very hard. I'm like, oh, I get that alert, jump on there. Hey guys, and my friend Gina Bingston and her show on Thursday, and with Bob Christopher, you know, that my who's my bud, and so I mean, there's it's those stuff like that are just fun to get to let that person know you're showing some love, and at the
Mhm.
end of the day, that's really what it should be about, right? It's just
Yeah.
showing a little love. I mean,
Hmm.
we treat it's sometimes sad, you know, we you think you go out and you treat a complete stranger, you this client that calls, and you go out and you just bend over backwards nice, and yet other colleagues in the field, it's like unkindness, and it's like, wait a second, what gives? So
Hmm.
again, I talk about that, and I say it out of total love and respect. That's something I hope we're getting to move towards. This event this weekend is is for all of us. When we see these other ones that are coming and that are there and we've known, I've been I've been fortunate enough. Kelly's been fortunate enough where if I know somebody and she doesn't know them, I'll introduce that person. This is Kelly. Oh wow, I've heard, you know. And then she says, "Oh, this is my friend." And then next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to send you a friend request, and it's good to."
Yeah.
Oh, you're Keith. You're that guy. I'm like, I don't get to go to a lot of them out there way on the East Coast. I live in Texas, but I go out and you'd think I was a politician going up and hugging friends and kissing babies, you know. But it's that I just am that big bear. I go up, I'm like, hey everybody, hey, it's been a while.
Hmm.
So again, this weekend with this event, if you're there and you see us, hop on over, take a minute, let's talk. We may get a chance to get you
And
interviewed and
yeah,
make
absolutely. And let's talk strategy for a minute. If you're attending this
oh
event, if you're attending this event, make sure that you do more than one lap around the room. And make sure that you stop and see all the things that you want to see or go back. Or if there's a line for something you really want to do, then go back. The big things that you should do, like if Carrie's still in the chat, you want to schedule times with readers, healers, people that are setting those times that you have specific appointments. Do that first. And then go check out everything else and go back multiple times, circle around, make the most of the whole day. Last year they had to add a second day because of the size of the venue. We had too many
right.
people. But this year with this venue, I think it's going to be great, but make the most of the day because I think it's really going to be fantastic. Now, random, not so random question, buddy. Are you ready? I
Oh
am
well, let's
curious.
try them. If I don't know, can I phone a friend, erase two
No,
wrong
no, you
answers,
can't phone a friend. It's
or
all your opinion.
well,
It's all your opinion. Just
poll the
you
audience. That's it. Ask phone
That's
a
right.
friend, erase, or
That's right. Yes. And Carrie says, yes, readers book up fast. I booked up all day in less than 4 hours. So, and that was for
Carrie
two
is the
days.
rock
For two
star. You
days.
go, Carrie.
So make sure that you stop by and
Carrie
do those things
rocks.
first. Thanks, Carrie,
Cool.
for weighing in. I knew that was something that
Carrie's the
people
boss.
should do first. So thank you.
Random thoughts. Here it goes.
So yes, random thoughts. Here it goes. So how I said that there's an array of topics spoken about or people represented at this event. So what's your opinion, buddy? On now we're gonna have to keep some of these short, but I just have some of these questions for you. Like, what's your opinion only on cryptids like Bigfoot?
Well, so I've had personal experience via one of my best friends with the creature in East Texas. So as far as when you speak Bigfoot, uh, and that's just one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's from one. I also have another two total, and within a 6 month period,
Mm-hmm.
and
So what's your
they
opinion on them?
so my opinion on them is they do exist. They are there. Um, I, I, I'm really kind of the closet Bigfoot guy. You don't hear me always talk about it like all the time, but actually a big part of me, but as far as like say paranormal,
Don't worry, Fred. I'm getting to you in a second. So just
Fred Richards,
we're
Bigfoot.
waiting for
Here we
you here,
go.
Fred.
There he
We're waiting.
goes. Fred's in the chat.
So you
No,
just hold, please.
that it's you just cannot. I mean, there's way too much. I mean, my opinion is hands down, no doubt, they exist. They are, in fact, there's way too much. I mean, we had the doc on the show, the
Mm-hmm.
man,
Yeah.
the man, the one of the foremost, most respected people in the business on the
Mm-hmm.
show.
Yeah.
And the guy is about as smart as any human could be. I mean, I can't fathom like he's, you know, literally like the man. And the evidence is out there. It's overwhelming. It's compelling. It's just, and she brings up a good point. Robin does, and I'll tag in it with that. I do believe that they're able to cloak as well. There's been too many people that have literally said they see them. They're walking on this little ridge line of this little lake, and they're going, and it looks where it could be clear, and then they just like they walked into nothing, and then they're gone. Like, where did he go? He's gone.
Yeah,
He
crazy. I
disappeared.
know.
And now, be it that it was some slip of a portal that they know where they're at by some energy, that sound that is so well made in a
Here you go,
portal.
everybody. I didn't even ask about the sound, but you all are welcome because here he goes. Go ahead. Go ahead,
And
Patty.
it is a sound that I recorded in
That I
outside
recorded.
of Gettysburg. It is a warping sound, and it is compelling, and it is literally.
I mean, see, Robin, right? Yep, right.
And
Yep.
at the moment, what's so compelling about that, when me and John were there, I got a a picture
Mm-hmm.
that I've shared with some of the
Right.
best photo people in in the paranormal, and
Yeah.
sent that to them. And
Yeah.
they're like, Keith, that's dude, that's something. That's
Yeah.
like, where did you get that? And it's a busy picture.
Mm-hmm.
And the spot I'm talking about where I think that was is where the whole apparition event happened,
Uh-huh.
and they're there, and it's there, and it just
So you think this is kind of like your opinion it parallels these cryptids
I
in this
I
regard.
I
You
think
think
the
they
slip
come and go
happened,
from
and at
this
that, yeah,
plane.
I think literally. And what's so interesting about it is when I talked to somebody about that, they said, Keith, you don't even know that the fact what I'm about
Yeah.
to tell you, that where you're talking about that happened, we got lost in the woods just circling. We were like lost. It's
Mm-hmm.
like we look back and it wasn't even the same place. We were lost.
Yeah.
And we're like, I can't believe it. We were on a trail. Where are we? And they just walked and walked, and then they just go back this, go through. And they looked and they was walking. It's like an hours went by. And then
Mm-hmm.
finally he goes and says, I think it's go up through here, and there's and they went, and then they were like, what happened? This is all where we, and it just went like it just happened. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
and they said they literally, the only thing they can think is they went, and where they said they got lost is where I documented this picture along with that sound with a
Mm-hmm.
recorder in the picture. And it was because when it started happening, I was like, oh, the camera, boom, 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 360s, boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom, 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 boom. And out of the ones, I caught the one, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, look right here. And John, I brought it up, and it was like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
And it's just was so crazy.
Yeah.
It's one of my most coveted. I mean, this picture just was profound. It was like, wow.
Okay, you ready
I
for my next question, buddy?
Let's take the next one. So I
Okay,
went deep
so
on that one, but
you
yeah.
you did go deep. We're gonna have to keep these a little shorter, because I'm gonna just rapid fire questions until you interrupt me and ask me.
Bam.
So I've had all day to think about this. I'm
Yep.
nursing a sick dog and an injured dog right now. So like I have I
I
had a lot of
know.
time to think amidst my spare
Mama
time today.
Miller.
So anywho, so since Fred's in the chat and he's weighing in on Bigfoot, but I think maybe was a little offended. Sorry, Fred. Well, we talked about Bigfoot first. So if you could tell our visiting extraterrestrials one thing, what could you tell? What would you tell them? See, he wasn't prepared, everybody. He didn't know what questions I was going to
So,
ask. I like to
so,
be a little live wire as
so,
far as questioning. So,
so
if you could
I would
tell them
tell
one
them,
thing.
I would tell them, I've I've always believed in you. And it would be, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Like I come to you in peace. I
Mhm.
believe in you. I had an experience as a little boy
Robin,
with
I
my,
did get him, didn't I?
and yeah, I was quiet and that's rare, huh? But I believe in you. And yeah, I
Mhm.
had a little boy. I was in a deer stand and had an experience early in the morning.
Mhm.
And Pops went to the grave with saying, not a word, not a word, not a damn word, not nothing. I don't say, I don't
Uh-huh.
want to hear you. I don't want to hear nothing at all.
Yeah.
And he says, I already, I know what you're gonna do when I move on. And I says, well, it's so, he goes, I know. It happened. We saw it. It was more than what, and just to see it, it just took my breath away. And I looked at Dad and he was just looking out and he was just staring. He was just stuck,
Mhm.
like froze. And to see something and then it happened within about a 5-second period, and you just like, you think the sun's coming up and it's like not daybreak yet, and then
Uh-huh.
it's there, it hovers, it's like you think you're about to be gone, and then it just it gets out of there like in a blink, like
Mhm.
gone, and it just freezes you. And
So
I'll
you would
never,
tell them that you believe in them and
I,
that they're real. That's your answer.
I
Because I
would
got
be,
another question.
go ahead.
Okay, so the next question is, I'm kind of trying to get around to the different realms here. So, okay, so do you think that when you die, what you're wearing that day is your ghost outfit for life?
uh no, I don't, and I'll tell
Okay,
you why. I'll tell you
okay.
why.
You know
So
what? I expected you to tell me why, but
I and
I'm
so
glad you said no.
so my
Okay,
sister-in-law saw my brother. She was very upset. She called me crying. She
Fred, I believe
says that I'm I I feel him here. He's around me. I know it,
that.
and he's trying. And I said, well, just tell him that just to to let you know that he's okay. And so she's laying there, and it gets to be about 4 a.m. in the morning, and and her dog is barking, like, "Roof, roof," and she's like, be quiet. And then and the dog's looking like towards something,
Yeah.
and then she opens her eyes and she sees my brother. Now she sees him from the end of the bed, from about that waist up,
Okay.
and said he had just the most beautiful, perfect white, like shrouded gown. He had like beautiful blue eyes, and he just smiled at her.
Mhm.
He wasn't talking, but she understood what he was communicating.
Yeah.
And it was like two things, and it was, I'm okay and I love you. Two
Mhm.
things were very clear.
Mhm.
And she just sit there, and it was kind of like the part in the movie Ghost, with Patrick Swayze, when she looked, and her and Whoopi Goldberg, and went, oh my God. And when heaven opened up and he left, that's what she said. And I believe her because she's not really so much of a believer.
Mhm.
But after that, she said she felt complete, that it was like, okay,
So
I feel,
that was a different outfit than the
oh,
outfit that
yeah,
the
it was
boss
like a
fit.
shrouded white, beautiful
I'm not
gown.
trying to simplify this experience. I just have heard people say that before from my
Bikini, like
experience
a
with spirit.
bikini or swimsuit or
Right? But
toga outfit, or
yeah, if I pass away tomorrow,
Robin says, I hope not.
um, yeah, no, from my experience with spirit, that's not the way that it works. But I was just curious about your opinion. Okay, one more question. Okay, so if you could only take, I'm a foodie, so I have to ask this question. If you could only take one investigation snack with you each time for the rest of your years of investigating, what's that snack going to be?
um, Venison sausage.
Really?
Yeah, I would
Of all
have
things? Like a snack of really?
like a substance. Yeah, basically, kind of more like, though, kind of like a jerky, right? Like a jerky.
Okay.
Uh, Beautiful.
Yes, I know yours flips Swedish fish. No, and
Bleh.
yeah, I mean,
George is in there.
yeah,
What
it's
if
freaking
maybe the other
bonus.
side of the veil is trying to investigate us and not just as we're investigating them? I started to think last night after watching 23 days of Netflix, maybe the other side is trying. The reality is that I really, um,
Oh, you
you
can't
know,
take the spicy sausages. These things, Fred, Andrew, you can't take these things.
spicy.
You're gonna take spicy stuff on it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, George.
Hey,
One
and
second.
Andrew
I have
said
to
good.
address the
Andrew said
ridiculousness.
good call. Did you
I
see what
have
he?
to address the ridiculousness that's happening in the chat right now. You can't
This
take
is
these
fun.
spicy things on investigations. You can't take that. Who's going to
Well,
want to stand next to you?
well, I didn't say
Not
anything
this
about.
girl. I don't know who else. Maybe someone
Well,
else is
I'll
eating
let you have
spicy
some of
things
my
in the chat.
well-made jerky, and you will love it. Trust me.
Sorry, George. Back to
George brings it.
George's point.
George brings up as any legend. Literally, George
Right,
Shelton has
Robin.
been
You get
around
it.
since
Yeah.
forever and been around and countless investigations. We've been there. But he brings up a great point. Is that I think that they do, because how many times is it when we go somewhere, you'll get like, what are we doing, and they're like, paranormal investigation. Like, they tell us, and they're like, I've always even asked, and I think I maybe even asked George's one time, do you think as we walk up to their house, they're like, oh no, here comes another investigators. Woo! Oh, what's your name? Oh, it's Bob. Where do you live? I'm here. Woo!
Um,
I think that's why there's times where they're active, like they want to, like, say, I don't have nothing to do on this Monday night. I might kind of rattle some chains. And then there's times you get in there, we didn't get nothing.
well,
We
I
couldn't
think
get a blip.
from
But
from a spirit perspective, and this was something that was evident. I don't know if David's still in the chat or not from this weekend, but this is something that I think happens quite a bit with spirit, is that, at least from what they tell me, when we're investigating, sometimes they'll kind of roll their eyes at us as humans. They'll laugh at us as humans, like, oh my gosh, they're asking this question, or oh my gosh, they're explaining that piece of equipment again. Like, if you had infinite knowledge, do you think that you'd need a human's help? That's my
well,
point all the time. Do you think if you could download whatever information you possibly wanted, and you were so vastly intelligent that you had the universe behind you,
well,
and you could get anything you wanted to know, do you think us as humans could offer
you
you
and
anything that you could not do yourself?
me were at an investigation where this happened. When
Here's
you
the
think about it,
opinionated Kelly. This is what rough days do to me. I just get loudmouthed about my opinions on here.
they want some jerky. I agree. So
Listen, no,
yeah,
no
no.
spicy. Turn it down. Anyhow,
So
so,
George, so
but
with
I
that,
think
George,
I'm with George on this. I think that they are curious about us, but they already know what we're doing. At least from my experience of reading for spirit my whole life, they already know what we're trying to do. It's always polite to introduce yourself, go in, say, oh, I brought these pieces of equipment, here they are, but they can figure out how to work it. We don't have to spend as much time elaborating on all these things as what we do. Again, with that vast knowledge, they don't need us for anything. But I think it is interesting that they're so readily able to communicate. And I think that the more we embrace that, and the more we embrace the science, that we can kind of correlate what's happening and evidence wise. And I just made Keith disappear, everyone.
no,
And he's back.
I,
Aw,
I'm just getting my.
it was his little
So,
buddy.
so this is
So,
my little best buddy, Petey.
oh,
Petey's gonna wave at you.
he's so cute.
He's Petey, and then I got Bandit. He's my little buddy. He's a rescue dog.
He's so cute. Mine are
He's
rescues too.
he's my little
Yeah.
best buddy.
So George, yes, I think I mean, I agree with you. They definitely are investigating us the same time we're investigating them, and but they already know about us. They're just curious to see how we're going to interact. That's just from my experience with
me and you had an experience with if you think about it, we had an experience at Petey don't want down now. we had an experience, remember, with Pam and them at that house. Mm-hmm. And Robin touched on the fact about with, they, feelings and other things. I
Mhm.
know firsthand. I was in that room. I was there. I just wanted to do a sweep, just a that little SBS 7, just in there, just kind of a few minutes. I like to kind of try different stuff and say, yeah, let me just jump in here real quick. So this one spirit, and I mean, it was like right off the bat. And is there anyone here? I'm Keith, and I'm in the room. And she was like, hi. And then wow, I'm Keith. And then I would say something, she would answer. And
Mhm.
then it was nice, and things were fine. Well, a friend of mine came in the room. Well, I will tell you that when that happened, the female spirit did not like my female friend walking up and listening to the investigation. I got told, you,
George.
you,
Oh.
I got told literally, starts with a starts with a F and ends with the U. Literally, and she said it. That spirit said it loud
Uh,
because we had been talking and just like, hi, hello, it's not, thank you for, and she told me right quick like where to get off the bus. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, I apologize. Like, I this is my friend, I was just introducing. And I says, did you stay in this room? Was this your room? And she goes, maybe. Like,
yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
maybe. And then I
Mhm.
was like, okay. I tried to talk to her, and she's like, bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
She
We had
was like deuces,
we
like,
we had
and
one
I
last.
was like, but
Yeah.
you remember what happened? She went on. She went on. This is the first time it ever happened to me, and I'm a big guy. Uh, I was up in the bed, sitting there, doing my just there. And I tell you what, they were still downstairs. You could hear people, and I had went to sleep. I had to get up and fly out the next day. And next thing you know, my happy 6'5" got brought down to about 3 foot something of half of me out of the bed. Now, mind you, I didn't, I don't fall out of beds. I'm there. I didn't kick, fall. You could have, no, no, and no, and no. I felt, and right before it happened, a picture over across the wall kind of went tink, made this kind of like it slipped and tilted. And right after that happened, I'm there and like straight back. And I was like, whoa. And I sat right up and I was like, do not touch me. I'm sorry I upset you. I'm apologizing. But wait, there's more. This spirit went on to lock all the doors on the upstairs, and people weren't able to get in the room. And Pam was like, oh, she's at it again. She had to go in there and unlock these doors. So she was not happy. And which told me to lean to, and I was like, I thought about that she's got feelings, like she's got, still has feelings. And I
Mhm.
upset her. And I want to go back there and make amends. Like, look, I've got a box of chocolates. I'll leave them out. They're for you. I ain't going to touch them.
Mhm.
But that
Well,
was a wild experience. And you were there. And I think I told you
yeah.
the next morning.
Yeah, you did. And the private case that I did on Saturday, and again, I don't know if David's still in the chat or not, but you know, some members that were there were saying the same sort of thing several times, and they reiterated the same question to try to get an answer. And over the one piece of equipment goes, "Come on!" Like, because that's truly how they feel. I mean, I'm standing there going, yeah, this, spirit that I see is standing in the corner, like just like shaking its head, and then you hear this, come on, because again, they're way more intelligent. You can download anything you want on that side. So what do
I,
they need us for?
it
Nothing.
and super fun. And Robin knows. Uh, Robin has the ones that literally by her name. They know her. They frolic and have fun. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Kel Airlines taking off. Be seated and prepare for takeoff. I've never in my. She has the most. If you don't ever connect out there with Robin and see some of the extremely intriguing and compelling anomalies and the talking and chanting between the spirits, uh, they literally do actually, like she says, they call her by name,
Mhm.
Robin.
Mhm.
and they like wake up. And I
Robin,
mean,
I
that
hope they don't call you in the voice that Keith just demonstrated.
well, it she's
That's
got
kind of
she
just like,
she's
I
got the
mean,
one with that. She can tell
it's
you, but
next level creepy. That's it.
it was the female of the two. There's a elderly woman and a man. I think that they did live there, but it's recorded in the female and the male's there. And I hope Robin, but the female goes, Robin, kind of like, wake up, we got to get the day started. And then the dogs,
Oh no, they were scared, y'all.
the dogs look at him and are just like, bzz, 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 bzz.
Mhm.
I mean, no doubt the fact our puppies can see spirits. I don't
For
doubt that.
sure. Yeah.
Like they follow them, they look at them, they know they're like in full, like, hey, Dad, are you not? It's like your brother. He's on the couch. Like
Yeah.
3 days after Kevin passed, Petey and Bandit both were like looking right at him. Petey
Mhm.
started to kind of growl, just kind of a scared growl. And
Mhm.
he was looking at me like, Daddy, do you see that? And I knew it. I said, Kevin, you're here, aren't you? I know it. And it wasn't long when a spirit box that got right behind me that
Yeah.
I talk daily.
Mhm.
He came through and he's like, hello, you said you were going to call me. And
Oh.
that's why he calls it the telephone. And he did. And he talked just, yep, I'm here. Is Dad there? Yep. And my mom was still alive at the time.
Mhm.
But then when she passed, and she says, "Hi, son," sounds
Oh,
just
wow.
like she did when I would call her, and I says, "Are you there with Kevin?" And he goes, "I'm here," and it's
Oh.
just like their voices are.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, folks,
Yep.
there's no doubt about that. And with that being said, folks, all the fun and the things that we do on this show, you get to have even more fun with us in person
Yeah.
at the Amazing Warren's Paracon this weekend. Listen,
Come
it
and visit.
come and hang out,
Yeah.
wave, smile. I'll give you a hug. Hugs are free. Kelly will be there to put a
That's
smile
right.
on your face.
Maybe.
And listen, it's going to be a rock star event. If there's one that you've been waiting to go to,
Yep.
I mean, the spectacular time.
Mhm.
That's the time. Dan and the
And
guys.
if you find that the hotel, I don't know if they have rooms available yet. It is a casino hotel, so it's a casino hotel price range bracket. If you want, there are other hotels in the area, so you can pick a different one to stay at. Just come to the event for the day. So, we're going to try to go live throughout the different points of the day,
Yeah,
kind of like we did last year, little snippets at a time, maybe grab some guests and have them come on. Um, or at least show you around a little bit. So we may
yeah.
try to do that throughout the day that we're there. But if you come find us, make the most of the day, spend as much of the day as you can, and have a lot of fun because I think
I
it's
think
going
we're
to be
better looking in person.
amazing.
I think this
I'm
camera
going to
makes
stick with taller, that I'm taller in person.
this camera makes me look so kind of big. I don't know. Ooh,
You,
I need to. These cheeks. Yeah, look at them. No
you're
wonder my grandma used to go, "Oh, look at those
You
cheeks. I
know
just
what?
love
That's
it."
what I'm gonna do to you when we go live in person. I'm gonna be like, I'm here with Keith Bailey. So
My grandma, God love her. I love my nanny. But she would, oh son, and I miss my God. I miss. Don't you miss your grandparents?
for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
people. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I think we have come to that time
We
of
have
the
come to the time
show.
tonight, but don't worry, we'll be back with more random questions and opinions in 2
We
weeks.
will, and some other super fun guests
We have
come.
some great also. I mean, I know it's not, I don't want to like give too much away because it's not the new year time yet to really announce some of these things, but we have some great collaborations coming up with people and some other events that we're going to get to highlight, within the next year and
Yes.
a half. So really excited to share some of those things. And after the Paracon, we'll make sure to do that.
So it's
But
kind of probably going to
it's
be like a
coming.
little own tour
Yeah, that's
2023.
right.
Catch Keith and Kelly live own
That's
tour.
right.
Get your tickets now. We want to
Yeah,
go do some
sure.
investigations. We want to get out to meet you guys.
Yep.
And hey, if I don't know the answer to one of your questions, I know some people.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I have some phone numbers in my phone. I can make a phone call, but we'll
Yeah.
get you there.
All right.
That
Well,
being
everybody,
said,
yeah, we will see you either this weekend in person or we will see you in 2 weeks here on the show. Have a restful evening and have a safe trip. Keith, have safe travels.
I
and I'll
will.
see you in a few days. And make sure you visit our page as we go live throughout the
Turbulence.
events of the weekend. Maybe I'll even sneak in a live for Keith when we're at the VIP party.
What does turbulence sound like? Oh, folks, sit
And more
down and get your
sound
seatbelts.
More sound effects. That's right. That's right. Oh. All right, everybody. Well, good night. We'll see you this weekend or 2 weeks, and have a very good evening.
Bye.
Good night, buddy.
Good night.